Why lucky me?
All right, and welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming podcast. I'm Marcus. I have Mark with me, and I have Ray with me today. And guys, what you guys been up to this week?
Me, primarily playing Hearthstone.
Nice. Okay.
You know, that Sholomance Academy expansion launched.
For sure.
So I've been streaming a lot of that on Twitch. Hey, yo, check out me on Twitch.
Yeah, for sure.
WLG.
Nice.
And I've been enjoying that a lot, trying a lot of new decks. I've been having a lot of fun with that. So that's been sucking up a lot of my game time. And, trying to slowly truck through Ghost. I think I should be done with that this weekend. So we can get a review going on that.
Nice.
Nice. So I've been playing Fall Guys. I know that's pretty popular out there. Godly Sovereign and I were playing it yesterday.
Yeah.
Because this month it's free on PlayStation Plus. So if you guys have PlayStation Plus, make sure you download it. It's also on Steam. It's $20. But yeah, I've been playing that game. It's a combination of, I don't know if you guys used to watch Max Extreme Challenge back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's like that show meets I don't know, not Octodad, but you're just like a little character that flails around, and the physics are kind of off.
Funny physics, yeah.
But it's a really fun game, guys. So check it out if you haven't played it yet.
So I just beat Ghost of Tsushima this weekend. So I was finally able to at least beat the main storyline. I didn't 100% it. I didn't platinum it, so there's still some side missions and things that I want to go back and do. But for now, I just wanted to finish the story so I could get the gist of what was going on there and stuff. And then playing Fall Guy last night, and I had fun with it as well.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of people playing it, and it seemed like it was kind of fun, and I was like, okay, I would do this right here, and I would do that there, and currently I think there's only less than 10 different gameplay rotations, so you're bound to get the same ones over and over again. So you can eventually get good at some of the other ones and kind of predicting which route to take and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems like it's definitely a tad bit of a grind to get your different skins and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's definitely something that I'll probably dabble with here and there. I probably won't spend lots and lots of time with it, but definitely want to play some more of that with the fellas and stuff like that and compete against each other so you can last longer.
Sure, man. I would play that for sure. That's gonna be fun.
And then I did get a chance to try the Marvel's Avengers beta.
Nice. Oh, nice.
I had just gone on PlayStation Plus just to see if something was out there.
Nice.
And it was actually available, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll play it.
I know we have that later in the show. So
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But the biggest news of the week, the big deal here is that Halo Infinite has been delayed until 2021, fellas.
Man.
Ugh, heartbreaking.
That's
what
brutal.
do y'all think about this?
I'll start. I'll say that when the game's ready, when the game's done, release it. I'm cool with that. I've been playing Blizzard games long enough. This is just how the cookie crumbles these days. But I would say that their incentive to release the game early is completely different in my opinion, because the multiplayer is going to be free and the game's going to be day one Game Pass. So just think about that. They're not worried about, oh no, we're not going to sell a bazillion copies. They weren't going to sell that many anyways, because everyone's going to try the free multiplayer, and everyone who has Game Pass is going to get it. So I think their motives for being on that tight release window weren't the same as previous generations, or it's not the same as PlayStation trying to get the game out the door.
Well,
because
let me ask you this, Mark, why do you think they're delaying it?
I think they're delaying it based on the previous feedback, because they got a lot of I thought the graphics looked good to me, but everyone wasn't really happy. So I think they're putting some extra polish on the game.
For sure. They Sonic the Hedgehog that one. Yeah, for sure.
They're blaming COVID, though,
Yeah, they're blaming COVID. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise. But
COVID made me attach my previous game skins onto this one.
That's right.
So, but I'm still excited for it. I don't mind them pushing it back. That's fine. I think it's still going to be equally good of the game. If the graphics are better, cool. But I'm still hyped for this. This doesn't change my mind. What about you, Sir Knight?
Well, I guess really quick, I would ask you too. Does this affect your desire to buy an Xbox when it comes out?
To me, no, because although this was one of the most notable games. This was one of the most hyped games. There's just so many games that I can play on the Xbox that, you know, it's backwards compatible with all my 360 games, my Xbox One games, my old peripherals and controllers work. So because it's less of like a system and it's more of like a, you know, like a platform now,
Service.
like a service,
Yeah.
to me, it does. One game is not going to change it for me.
For me, this is huge. This is a huge L. This is just a huge L for Xbox players, man. Like, I feel for y'all. I was really hoping, you know, switching to Xbox. The reasons why I was gonna go play Xbox is kind of what Mark was saying. Is it wasn't about Halo for me. It was about the gaming as a service.
Yeah,
I really am a huge fan of Game Pass. I can't say enough good about it. But this is very bad. I don't even think they have a killer app now for their launch. A single killer app at all for their launch day when the Xbox X launches. I don't think they have
Really?
anything for it.
Really?
Like, this is really heart aching for a lot of Xbox fans. I can't believe this is happening. It was memed so hard. Did you all catch all those Craig memes?
Nah.
The brute looking guy.
Oh yeah. But I saw
Craig.
them before they
his
had
name's Craig.
announced the
people were
delay.
calling him Craig.
Okay.
People
Yeah, I've
were
been seeing
calling him
those
Craig, like,
all the time.
I saw some of the funniest memes on that, man. Like the Brute Force, the old Xbox original game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were putting his image on the old Xbox Brute Force game,
Yeah.
and like it's like, dude, that looks like an Xbox original game. That little character model looks like a really crappy model. They were taking some major heat, man. They were taking some heat for that. I agree with Mark Araya that they were pressured into doing this. This is what's delaying it.
Yeah.
I wasn't so worried about it, you know. Like, I looked like Mark Araya said, it looked fun to me still. It looked like Halo. It looked like it played like Halo. Yeah, it didn't look better, but it looked like it still played and was fun to play like Halo. So it wasn't an issue for me. But man, the internet blew up. What do you think, Godly Sarvin?
Well, I wanted to ask you, so you don't think games like Phantasy Star Online 2 will be like enough like pull to bring other people in? Because I felt like they had like a decent amount of games that were like, oh, I'll try that for the Xbox Game Pass, like without Infinite, because I felt like Infinite looked, you know, whatever when I saw it.
I think Xbox has a lot of fun games to play, even ones that you can only play on like their console. I just don't think they have a killer app, you know, like they don't have something that's just killer. Like when PS5 launches, we're gonna have like Miles Morales, dude, right? Like that's killer. Like we're gonna be like, woo, you know, like we're super excited for like some launch day titles on our PS5.
Right.
Xbox doesn't have that, and that's just depressing. And I can see how it could depress some people, not necessarily to not buy the Xbox, but probably wait. Like. It kind of makes me kind of just want to keep playing my Xbox Series X, like because I can play a lot of those games.
Xbox One?
Yeah, my Xbox One, but Xbox One X.
Okay.
Because a lot of those games you're mentioning, I could just play on my Xbox One X, and I have Game Pass and access to all that stuff. You know, right now, what am I gonna get the Xbox? I want the new fangled graphics, right? Like I want the games that are gonna be able to pump out those new 4K graphics that they're you know praising their system to do, but they don't have any killer app to do it. And so for me, it's more like it puts a damper on my desire to want to buy it like immediately. Not saying that I won't. I probably would buy an Xbox Series X at some point in time.
Right.
But right now, it makes me want to just stick
You'll
with
just
what
wait.
I have. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. For me, it didn't necessarily make too much of a difference as far as like getting a Series X when it launched or whatnot, because Halo Infinite was definitely not something that I was really looking forward to playing. I would have tried it out just to go back into the Halo series and see if it's any good. But I've disliked Halo for a long time, so it wasn't anything that's like, ooh, on the top of my list, you know? So, so just finding out that it's delayed is like, well, okay. But again, the only game that I'm really waiting for on the Xbox is Fable.
Right.
So
you could wait, and you even mentioned you might wait.
Yeah,
to buy an Xbox till that came out, right? To hold them
right. So I
that.
think if anything, right, I would keep the Ultimate Game Pass just to collect the free games that are released monthly, just so that I can add them to my library, or possibly just go to Game Pass PC or something, and then just wait until the actual game that I want comes out, and then I just get it from there. I don't know. I'm not sure if Lionhead Studios, or not Lionhead, but Playground is a Microsoft studio. I don't know if it is or not. So I don't know if it's something that you would just purchase or if it'd be available on Game Pass. But I know I want to purchase it anyways, just for, because I'm a real big fan of that game.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, right now, it's kind of like I guess I just have to see like what their next event is, but yeah, it definitely just tells me to just like relax on the console.
Xbox,
you know what I mean? Like I could just catch the next
me.
wave of stuff that comes out.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting both of the consoles on release days or whatever is cool, but like really, which one are you gonna be playing like that? You know what I mean? So I would like to say I would be playing the Xbox Series X, but I think I'd be forcing myself to play it.
Right.
For like me to stop Miles Morales to go and play the Series X or something like that. You know what I mean? It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless I've got like company or something like that, and I bought like a specific game for multiplayer on there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I might buy 2K21 on the Series X just so that I can play it on there with like my father-in-law or something like that.
With family. Yeah.
That makes sense.
But that's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah, but let's just face it though, we already know that PlayStation has all the exclusives. So I would say Xbox knows that too. So if Halo makes it or not, that's not enough for them to say that they have all these exclusives, because we have Halo now, and I haven't played the latest iteration of Halo personally.
What's that, like Halo Reach?
5.
No.
Halo 5.
It's Halo 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still play Halo 3. I play the Master Chief Collection more than I play any of the new ones. So I would say that it just reinforces the fact that PlayStation has all the exclusives, and that's fine. I feel like Game Pass is going for the quantity over quality approach with their launch. That is, they're gonna advertise. You could play more quantity.
You're right.
They're going quantity
over quality.
And
where
PlayStation's going
quality over quantity. Yeah.
For their launch.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about their launch.
Yeah, for sure.
They're gonna argue. Well, we
PlayStation will have a lot of games too, right? Eventually.
Yeah. They're gonna argue like, oh, well, our launch, you could play more games on an Xbox than you can on a PlayStation. But that's just a marketing strategy, of course. Over the life of the console, that's what we're worried about. Launch is one thing, but the life of the generation is something.
And I generally agree with you, Mark Araya, that delaying a game is usually a good thing in most cases, right? You know, like a rushed game is usually never going to be something anyone wants to play. Yeah. But a delayed game can eventually become good. And so like I'd rather have a good game than a bad game rushed. Yeah. But I just think it's another blow, right? Like it's just another loss, right? Like just another L that they're taking. And those things can just, when you're trying to hype up, your base, to get out there and buy your system, this does not help that at all. And so it's just a bummer, I agree. I never looked at the system like either one of you. Like I agree with Godly Sovereign. Halo Infinite wasn't why I was buying the system.
Right.
I was buying it for the service, like Game Pass or friends and family. But it's just like, man, that's a bummer. It would have been nice to buy something cool on a launch day like that I could have took home with me. Game Pass day one, I just buy a system. I got a dope game to play that's made for Xbox Series X. Right. But we don't have that, so it's just a shame.
Yeah. And, keeping on topic with games that have been delayed and trying to get hype and all that, we got the Night City Wire 2 that just released for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
I was checking it out, and it seemed like it was interesting, but, how'd you guys feel?
Go ahead, Mark.
So it was like 20-30 minutes. There's a lot of information here. So I haven't been keeping up with this game as much as you guys. Yeah. But the Nomads, I'll just go over a couple of things that I like. The Nomad system, I'm not sure if they showed that before or not. But
like the 3 pathways?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time that they showed it.
This was new, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was really cool. I like that. Depending on the path you take, your stories, NPCs will give you options, and based on your background, it'll influence how the world, is perceived by your character. So I thought that was cool. And each, nomad, each, background is vastly different. You got your dude from the Badlands.
Yeah, that's the Nomad.
Okay, that's what is
so
what
it's
are these?
Nomad, Street Kid, and then Corpo.
Corpo.
Yeah.
Okay. What are these called again?
I just think
They're
like
life
pathways
paths,
or
just
something
life
like that.
paths. Yeah, just a life
I was
path.
calling them nomads.
Yeah.
Yeah, life paths. Yeah, life paths. So yeah, these are really cool. I'm gonna play the nomad one just because
Okay.
I probably wouldn't want to go back to the Badlands. It looked kind of the outside looked cool, like Mad Max kind of feel, but I kind of want to be in the city.
Right.
So my approach was I'll get that out of my system. You know, stay in the Badlands, do whatever I got to do out there.
Starting with the nomad.
Starting with the nomad, and then stay in the city.
That's a good, interesting point.
So, but I like that mechanic. When they were talking about the samurai thing, I thought it was gonna be some sort of class, but it's some music.
Yeah, it's like the
it's like
band
That's
that
Keanu Reeves, right?
that's
He's
Silver
the lead
or something
singer,
like
right?
that.
Yeah, Silver. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Whatever that
the
dude's
music
name
was
is.
okay. It wasn't my cup of tea,
No,
but
not
they're
mine
putting a
either.
lot of work into that.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Punk.
but the weapons
Yeah.
were incredible. Like I liked how each type of I was like smart weapon. That's a stupid name. Oh, the missiles
It's actually
track.
smart. Yeah.
It's actually smart,
Yeah.
you know. And there's ricocheting bullets. So
Which was interesting for that to just be like the basic, you know, like
yeah.
type of guns we have now, but you're able to ricochet them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That seems like a little extra additive that would be like considered a smart weapon. But
Yeah, because
yeah.
normally a smart weapon in other games, like that's a legendary weapon, a homing shotgun, a homing.
You're right.
But that's just a
It's
base
just
thing.
A basic.
So
Yeah.
my mind was kind of spinning when they said there's gonna be common, uncommon, rare, and legendary. So I was like, imagine a legendary smart weapon, like, well, that's gonna be incredible. The melee combat looked really good.
Yep.
So this company made Witcher, right?
Yep.
So my complaint for Witcher was I didn't like the combat that much.
Right. It's a little clunky.
It was a little clunky, but
Right.
this looked incredible. This
Yeah.
was like this fixes all the issues that I had with Witcher, and I loved The Witcher. So if they can portray the same world in this game but have better combat, this might be one of the greatest games that I played in a long time.
my only hesitation on that though about the combat is that I felt like everything wasn't actual gameplay. I don't think we've seen actual gameplay. You know, it's been like videos and cutscenes and different things like that they've already
or like
set up and stuff.
storylines.
Yeah, storylines. So I feel like we haven't seen somebody go in with their praying mantis arms and just cut somebody up. You know,
Right.
like in an actual gameplay.
Right.
We just seen that.
So I mean, with
So,
with
who
the
knows?
weapons, that wasn't gameplay. It looked like gameplay. All the shooting with
some
all
of
the
it
right
did,
now,
but-
he's saying.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, we didn't see
is
like,
like the
somebody
first
take the
time, right?
controller,
This is the
run
first
through
time.
the
Gotcha,
yeah,
right.
you know,
Okay.
they've
In the
been like
past.
pre-recorded.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff
past
like
stuff
that.
we've looked at in this game, we haven't seen like gameplay.
I see.
yet.
I see.
Yeah. So
I
I mean,
see.
they did show like a little bit on the very first Nightwire, right? They showed like some types of gameplay,
very
but
little. Mainly
I
the
feel like-
Batman thing, the brain hack or whatever was
Yeah.
lame.
and then it feels like because it's recorded and it's not like live,
Right.
it doesn't feel the same.
have
I
the
feel
same
like you
feel.
could just like, oh, I'm gonna cut this right here because this is where a glitch happened, and I'm gonna enter it in there or whatever. It feels like it could
I
be
see.
doctored up, you know, given to us. So I want to see like somebody
A fluid
on live playing
a
a
fluid
demo or
gameplay.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I must admit, I've been a little bit, underwhelmed by Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay.
I don't think they know that too. That's probably why they delayed it. There's some things that are clunky. Like the very first one with the driving looked terrible. I was not happy with that brain hack. It's like that's a feature, but that's not going to excite me about this. That doesn't excite me about this game.
Yeah.
They hadn't really. The world was kind of interesting. I wasn't super excited about the storylines that they were giving us.
Okay.
They were just kind of just so to me. They weren't super fascinating. This is the first time. This episode of Night City Watch was the first time I've been pumped and hyped for this game because those weapons were dope, right?
Agreed.
Like those smart weapons were sweet, man. Shooting the guns just into the air and watching them, find their target and home in on their thing.
That was sick.
The concussion weapons that they can plow through a piece of wall, that just goes right through, and you can so you're gonna change your weaponry up as you're going through. The melee looks sweet. The praying mantis slicers, I was like, man, the biomechanic upgrades in your body, dude, all that stuff got me excited. Like it's the first time I watched one of these Night City Watches, like, oh my gosh, now I actually cannot wait because the combat looked fluid.
Yeah.
Like what Mark Arai was saying, it looked fun, fast, quick pace. I really hope that this game has like some kind of outpost system because I really want to use my weapons.
Like bases and stuff.
Yeah,
that
bases
you can,
that I can just
in
go
and terrorize.
crazy, you know, and just be going like mad with my dope weapons. I hope they give us a lot of opportunities for that.
I think that there are some, because they had mentioned just like for an example, one of the missions or whatever that they have, that you have to interact with this gang. And then you have to go up there and retrieve the spider bot or whatever.
Right.
And there's like multiple ways to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So you could just go in there guns a-blazing. So
Yeah.
those might be like the type of mission.
I'm hoping they
'cause
do.
You got so many guys that might be in there or whatever, but I don't know. It looks like if you went in there guns blazing, you'd have to shoot your way out as well. So
Yeah. And then, you know, showing us the pathways, the life paths, you know. I'm always kind of a guy like, well, shoot, what's going to give me the most
best
benefit?
outcome, yeah.
What's going to have like the most opportunities for me to benefit from? I don't really care about the path. Like, and so as I look at the life paths, my first thought was like, street kid, right? Because I'm going to be we're in the streets, you know, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what the truth of it is it's probably going to be more along the lines of like,
Corpo.
every single path is going to be like 30, right? Where like it's only 30% of the time it's going to benefit you. It's probably going to be much more even than we think, and there probably isn't an actual better path to choose. It probably is really just what you prefer, which is why I kind of like Mark's approach. But I still kind of think I'm going street kid. But you going corpo or what?
I'm going corpo, man.
That's funny. All three of us are different, huh?
I was just listening to them break down each of the different life paths and kind of like what the benefits would be. So I feel like with Street Kid, you're in there and you're in the streets in the mix or whatever, but they also said that you didn't know how to handle certain people. With Nomads, they said that and I guess the people were like the corpos or whatever. They kind of had like a one up on you or whatever. So the Nomads, they had an aspect where they could kind of see through the BS and, you know, and like know exactly what you're kind of looking for or whatever. So I thought that was interesting. But what interested me the most was Corpo, because you would be dealing with some of these corporations, so you knew your character kind of already knows a little bit of how to maneuver around them. They already know what so-and-so is about and how you can deal with so-and-so. You know what I mean? So I feel like you might have a little bit more benefits, and you could possibly have one over on the street people, you know, with like being able to give them some type of a threat or something like that in conversation that, you know, they would deem is a high threat and respond. You know,
see, my first thought is like it's just gonna be in reverse, right? Like, so there's gonna be some situations where being a corpro is going to give you an advantage, right? Because you know that reality. And then it's going to be in reverse. There's going to be some situations where a corpo doesn't know anything about the street people and has no context or relationships with those people where the street kid would, right? So it's just going to be like counterbalanced. So it's more so, I guess, kind of just like what you want to be. Yeah,
and I was kind of hoping also that, you know, because they say you start off in those different areas. So I was kind of hoping that maybe my main base, like my house, would look a little different if I was a corpo. Like it might be more legit and nice, you know what I mean? Like if I'm high up in the rankings, as opposed to like, you know, out as a nomad and having like a fire pit or something like that, you know, and living in a shack or whatever. I know that
on the streets. Right?
Like, you know, as the nomad, they said that you're in there and then for some reason you have to get out and you have to make your way to Night City, and then you end up, you know, maneuvering in there. And then as a street kid, you know, you're just down in the dumps and, you know, you're working your way up. So, I mean, I don't know. It seems like it'll be interesting to pick any of those pathways and see how it is. And I like that there's 3 different ones. So we could potentially all try, you know, 3 different ones and, you know, and like talk about the outcomes that we're going to come across. So it should be fun.
One more thing, like, too, like, just back on weapons really quick. What did you all think about this idea of the legendary weapons and how certain characters you come in contact with and you build relationships with
have to kill,
have a dope weapon you want, and you have to make a decision. Do I kill him to get his weapon, or do I preserve him because I enjoy him as a character?
I actually like that concept because in the back of my mind somewhere, I remember there being instances with like games like possibly like Fable or some other games where they just
Yeah.
had like a really legit weapon, and if you wanted it, you could take it. Like you could literally just kill. I mean, Fallout is definitely like
Oh, yeah.
that, where they had something nice,
Oh yeah.
and you could just kill them real quick and pilfer it off their body, and then and just keep moving like it was nothing. And I like that. So, it's kind of like, okay, I have to look at it like, okay, is this the end interaction with this person? Like I'll never see them again,
Right.
Because if that's the case,
then
I'm killing you now to get that weapon. And I might do a little save right before, you know what I mean? Like kill him, see what the weapon is,
And
if
then
I can't
reload.
scope it out, and then it's like,
Restart
nah,
the
this is
game.
trash, shoot it. It's like, nah, I don't like the recoil, and then just
Yeah.
restart it, and so he's alive. So, I definitely like that permadeath, aspect, and like, you can see things, and you're like, oh, I kind of see what he got over there. I like that, I might want that. So. So that just sounds fun. It sounds like it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on it.
I'm with Marcus completely. I like that element that it adds. I like that it adds like a risk versus reward element, because it's like, at what cost do I want this weapon? Am I going to end my interaction with this person for the rest of the game? Do I want it that much? Or do I just hate a character for whatever reason? And you know what? Let's just end this now, and I'm going to take your weapon. So I like having that choice.
It's gonna fluctuate, right?
Yeah.
From person to person.
Yeah. So
Go ahead. No, Outer Worlds did that also.
Yes.
Outer Worlds had it where there was like situations where you were just in a room with people, and there was something that they had in there that you really wanted, but if you tried to steal it, then you were gonna get seen, and so you have to fight them all and kill them all, and you'd end that storyline right then and there.
Yep.
Or you could try to figure out, another way around getting it, or just leave it and not have it at all. So I like that, that there's like some of those issues. Oh, I killed Joe. He had that gun and I really wanted it, and it's a great gun right now. It's like, oh damn, I gotta go visit Joe.
Ending that quest line, right?
Yeah.
So what about you?
For me, I really like it because it's like thematical. I think it's true, right? Like people in this world, they have weapons, they have guns. If I killed them, they should be available for me to grab, right? Like that's just
Makes
normal.
sense.
That's how it should be with everything.
Yeah, that's how it
You
should be
pick up
with every
everything.
game, right? Like it's so weird. Like some of these games, right, where they have like these dope weapons and you kill them and the weapon it just kind of like somehow vanishes and isn't there anymore. It's like,
Or it just lays there and it doesn't give you a
yeah,
pickup
it's
option.
lazy. Yeah, pickup option. It's like, why can't I grab that? Like come on. And so like I really like that. And I'm all on the lines of like Godly Sovereign. You guys, like I'm gonna be like, okay, is my storyline over with this guy?
Yeah.
Can
I go visit him later? You know what I mean? Just to make sure I'm done with
what
him.
am I really losing here? Is it because I just don't like the guy, so I'm gonna X him out? Like what am I really losing? But I do tend to have like a little bit of a soft spot in these games. I'm not quite as like dark side as Marcus, Godly Sovereign gets, where I'd be like, I just can't do it. I just can't kill the guy, But if the weapon's bad enough, then I will.
Yeah, they had that in Dark Souls also, I believe, right? There was like some of the characters that you followed around that you could actually attack.
Sometimes they would
and
drop
then
their
they
weapon.
would have their weapon, and that was the only way you could get it, was just by killing that person. So.
And it's neat, like that permadeath aspect, like you're saying, like a character, he's just gone for the rest of this play. He's done. You're never gonna interact or see him again.
Yeah,
but that's real, It's real life. So really neat.
Yeah. So overall, it was like I said, my first episode was really good. I wasn't super hyped for the game, but this definitely got me intrigued. So I'm very excited. So moving on to another game that I think we're all intrigued of is Animal Crossing, guys.
Big news, right?
So it's sold over 20 million copies now, right?
Yeah.
So it's the fastest selling, if I'm not mistaken. Exclusive
in 3 months.
In 3 months. It's not the most sold yet on Switch. That's Mario Kart, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Okay.
So yeah, what is your guys' thoughts on Animal Crossing so far? I know I've played it, but I think you two are just spectators.
On the fence still.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it sold like almost like 5 to 6 million Switches alone, like after it released.
Man, dude.
I mean, it said like that there were about like 5.6 like million or so Switch consoles that were sold within that quarter. But I mean, we know that was increased because of that game. Like people were literally buying the special,
special editions.
Yeah, special edition
$800.
joints. Yeah, and that's kind of nuts, man. This is just like it's like a sim, in the sense, you know what I mean? It's just like The Sims, except, you know, they're animals or whatever. And people are having talk shows on there.
All related to this.
Yeah, they're doing advertisement and everything. Like people, like grandparents are on this game, you know, just to like interact in it.
That's
because
crazy.
It's so simple and easy to play. And that's like kind of mind blowing. That's something, you know, that's just like you know, a play around game. It's just like so popular, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to think, you know, the previous record, or I think PlayStation's fastest selling game in 3 months was Uncharted 4.
I thought Last of Us 2 had beat that.
No, in 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So the fastest selling. So given a 3-month period, the most sold exclusive. Like some games sell more than that, of course, right? Like a multi-plat game like 2K, right, or COD
if you're going through all
is clearly selling more than that many copies in a 3-month period. But this is exclusive to a single console. 20 million, and like you said, to sell 6 to 7 million consoles just to play this one singular game. Like, man, I'm just blown away by that. And supposedly Nintendo themselves had like a plus 500 and something % profit overlay from like one quarter to the next, like all around, like all this what's going on with Animal Crossing. I'm like blown away. Where like me, I'm like, a game like this where I'm more like Uncharted 4, like that should be the one, right? That's number one. Or like Last of Us, right?
There's no challenge in this game.
Iconic games, and Animal Crossing's beating them.
Yeah, but I would say in this game's offense, sure, there's no skill challenge, but the challenge is kind of the grind in this game. Okay, so there's over 100 different villagers. So these are all these like cute little characters you see, and you have to play this game and passively wait for your villagers to leave, and then you go to a different island, and then you got a chance of 1 out of 100 different villagers to get the ones you want. So that's one aspect. A lot of people, they just keep grinding to get, you know, the community that they want. I want all cat characters. Let me go on this endless. So that's one aspect.
Do you kick them off of your island, or they choose to leave if they want?
So they choose. They're like, hey, do you want me to leave? And you can tell them.
So a prompt occurs out of your control, and then you can choose.
After a set duration of time, a villager will ask to leave. Then they can leave. Then
can I go home? Nah, you're stuck here. You're a cat. I'm looking for all cats. You're not going anywhere.
So then when they leave, you can go and explore islands, like different areas. And if at the island there's a villager that you want, there's a chance that they'll say, hey, I want to come to your island. And then they can move in.
Is there any other point to that other than aesthetic? Like, I just want my villagers to look this way, or what is the point?
It's pretty much, so each villager, their house is like an image of them. So they'll have a uniquely cosmetic house.
So it's primarily cosmetic then.
It's cosmetic. Okay. They'll be on your island. They'll have a personality. I believe they can, when you get a certain relationship, they'll take a picture with you or for you. And that's something you collect. Like, I got their picture with their autograph. So some people collect those.
Yeah.
So it's more of a collecting game.
Absolutely. Like, this game is all about collecting because you have a museum on your island. And when you first start, your museum is empty. There's nothing cool about your island. So as you collect bugs, as you collect fish,
villagers,
and animals,
pictures.
No, as you collect bugs and fishes, they go in your museum. So when you go in your museum now, let's say you collected over 100 different fish. You see sharks. You see, it's like, you know, going to like Aquarium of the Pacific kind of thing. Like, your museum is decked out. So you want to collect things for your museum. And then outside the museum, you have your island. So you want to, you know, collect recipes, learn how to make all the different chairs. And, you know, it's just, you know how like in Grounded we're trying to learn how to make everything. It's same in this, but this you multiply it times 10, times 20. There's an endless amount of things that you can craft and make.
And do you enjoy this? Is this something that you really have a good time with, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I don't play it as much as my wife. I think to date my wife has played it over more than 800 hours.
Wow.
But she's played your console also, right?
And she's played mine for another 200. So
800 hours.
And she got to the point. Man. She got to the point where she said she wanted to restart her game and do it all again. And I was like, how in the world? But the thing is, the community is so crazy on this game because there's so many Discords. There's like there's an Amazon.com that's an Animal Crossing Amazon.com. So my wife has her own listing
in Animal Crossing.
Well, it's
because you can sell things, right?
You can sell
in
and
real
trade
life?
things. So my wife, I think it's called like Nook Azon. It's something to do with the game.
Yeah.
So she has an account on there where she lists all of her things for sale. So she's
And
like
people want specific things, right?
Yeah, because you only have certain recipes, and your shop only gets certain recipes and items per day. So you gotta wait and wait. So one day,
and it's daily. Damn,
But the
they
thing
make
is-
you come back every day to play this game. Get everything.
yeah. So it's daily. So what people do is they just keep progressing the clock.
Oh, and they're Nintendo.
So you can,
gosh, that's stupid Nintendo trick, man.
yeah. So that works.
That's stupid
And
Nintendo
also this
trick.
game, one thing that they do very well is they have seasonal content. So every season there's exclusive content that comes out.
Can you fast forward to like the Christmas season
Yeah,
and get
you
all
can.
the?
Okay, but
So you don't even have to wait for anything.
know.
You can literally get it
so,
all at
so
once.
that's one thing, right?
Why
So
doesn't Nintendo patch that?
there's the generic like winter stuff, but they always release new content packs. So right now they
Okay.
just released the summer content. So now they released balloons. You can have balloons in the game. You can trip and fall, and then there's like a King Tut. There's like a King Tut mask.
You can swim too, right? Didn't they
Yeah,
just
you can
release
swim too.
that?
You can swim too.
now.
So all that's a summer pack. So they're releasing free content to the players. So
that's
in my wife told me that in fall they're coming with a new. So these packs you can't skip in. You can't skip the fall and get all this exclusive content. But you can skip around to the seasons and like get the the cherry blossoms right now. I could collect cherry petals to make cherry blossom petals to make cherry blossom.
So
chairs.
there's in-game seasons, and then there's real-world seasons that Nintendo
just constant
supports,
DLC
right?
that they're
Yeah,
supporting.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So there's so much content in this game for you to consume forever, that it's just
Super low
it's a
key.
grindy,
do something while you're
chill game.
Yeah, sitting on
It's a
the
grindy,
couch.
chill game. So that's why.
Okay.
So did COVID help the numbers?
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Because you can't go outside and do all this stuff, so you're gonna do it in game.
Does this excite you, Godly Sire? We're hearing this gameplay. Does it get? I want to get this game.
Nah, not one
Nah,
bit.
it's not doing it.
It sounds funny, and it was like if I was given it or something like that, and I had nothing to do,
Okay.
then I might check it
Okay.
out. I've played Animal Crossing before,
Mhm.
like on GameCube or something like
Right.
that. I think
Oh,
it was
yeah.
probably like the last time I played it. So I've had experience with it, but it was never. It's not as captivating as me playing an RPG of
Yeah,
some
same
sort
here.
or a shooter or something like that.
But something to
So-
play before I go to bed. It might be fun. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're playing with your wife or something like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It might be
yeah,
something
for
cool that you guys
sure.
can interact with.
For
And like,
sure.
I remember doing that. With like
Sherlock
what was it?
Holmes, right?
Farm.
Farmville?
Farmville.
Yeah,
on
Farmville.
Facebook.
Oh, man,
Yeah, because it
dude,
was on
we were-
Facebook,
we
and it
were
was
on
just
that
like, oh,
for a
like
minute.
I'm gonna get my garden, my farm
man,
better
dude.
than yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was always
dude,
like a
for
challenge, like
sure,
who could get
for
their stuff up
sure.
and then get the designs and everything. So I see the aspect in it. So it's just kind of funny that
Yeah.
like people are stoked. I got a balloon, like I could use balloons now. You know what I mean? Like it's just funny. So
Yeah. And the community is pretty good too, because like there's people who built like a maze island. So like their whole island is like a maze, so they invite people over, and then it's like the first person to make it through the maze wins.
It's
like
an item or something that they have.
yeah, so like a lot of people like deck out the items crazy. And then once you deck out your island to a certain extent, I think like roses can randomly spawn on your
Okay.
island or something like that. So that's like one token of like, oh, if you got the roses, that means
you legit.
like you decked out your island, because
Okay.
those only spawn like when your
Okay.
shit's maxed out.
All right.
So I mean, there's a lot of cool things like that.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, for sure. So, moving on, how do we feel about, Apple blocking everybody?
How do you feel, Fornite, about this?
It's fine. They've built their platform. They've built this. They made the greatest. They started the smartphone craze to begin with. Like they built this whole notion of a smartphone. They built it from the ground up. It's one of the greatest inventions I think of all time. And so they have the right, to charge to enter, and I see them wanting to have the ability. I mean, and they should be given something, right? It's like it would be unfair for me to go into the Walmart parking lot and sell my oranges, right? It'd be like Walmart would be like, dude, find your own customer base. Don't just come in like into our customer base and at least not give us anything for it, right? And so I see why Apple is like, no, if you want to access our customer base that we've built up, then you need to follow these guidelines or follow these rules and give us this amount of cut. and seeing Fortnite, trying to supersede that, they kind of, in my mind, they kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have access to Apple's base and all the customers that come with that base and get all their money as well. It's like, nah, like if you want to get access into that customer realm of those iPhone users, then you have to pay a toll at the door. I feel like that would be with anything. You can't have both. You can't just, no, I want your customers, but I don't want to pay you nothing for them.
But I feel like it's also like a symbiotic relationship. You know what I mean? Like
it is.
If I know that, you built this great platform and you have lots of users, and I want to introduce my, my awesome game or my content or whatever to your users, I feel like if everybody who loved my content knew that they couldn't get it on your platform, it may change their mind.
Might leave.
Possibly.
Sure, I think it would, but you can't make it free, right? Like it can't be like, I have this awesome game and I want to put it on your platform, and you only benefit from that. Like, what if there's no exchange or percentage of money? Like, you're the only one benefiting, right? Like, what do I get? I have to have my percentage, my cut too, right?
Well,
to put it on my platform.
I think some of the issues was that they don't just want like a little taste. They want like a large taste. Like if I got 2 pockets, they want to put their hands in both of my pockets. They don't just want to dip into one pocket and like, oh, I'll take this 30% of this. Like, nah, like, oh, you're selling this, and this, and then you have this market or what. I want all of that. I want 30% of all of that. And I think that's the problem that Fortnite is kind of having right now. Cause yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know exactly what it takes to publish a game on there, but I do know that it does cost to get a game onto the game store to some extent, whether it's like an upfront price or something that you have to pay on the back end.
Yeah, you have to have a developer.
in-game.
$99 a year. You have to apply.
Right. Yeah. To even get it in there. So it's like they got that. You know what I mean? But they're not happy with that. They want like every microtransaction. So if I'm a small game studio, if we're just looking at small game studios, right? I had to pay $99 to get in through the door, and I'm trying to make my money back and feed the rest of my employees or my people who helped me build this game with the in-app purchases. But if I have something for $1, you know what I mean? I'm only seeing like 30 cents from every purchase or whatever.
70 cents.
Yeah, 70 cents.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, but they're taking like every little bit.
Yeah,
that you have. That's
just the nature of the industry, though, right? Like, it's symbiotic too, like in the sense that you're saying, yeah, if you're a big game company like Fortnite, right, and you're like, look, we have a lot of audience to bring to you. Apple's like, yeah, so we want that audience, but Fortnite also wants the Apple audience, right? Like they both want each other's help to grow.
Yeah.
And so Fortnite trying to bypass Apple's marketplace, right, and giving a 20% discount to everyone.
Yeah.
Cuts Apple out of it. And so Apple's like, okay, well then if you're not going to give us what we're asking for, then we're not going to have you on our platform. And Fortnite's like, okay, we're fine with that because we want to get the full cost. But then Fortnite loses out on all the customers so Apple loses out on Fortnite's players, Fortnite loses out on Apple's players, and they both hurt each other, right? So you have to make that decision, right? It all just comes down to decisions. Is it worth it to you to be on that platform? And if it isn't, if the cut is too high, if 30% is too high, then you leave, like Fortnite's doing. You leave. You can't just say, no. You have to make it what I think you should charge. I think you should be charging 10%, so therefore you should make it. No, this is our platform. This is our environment. We set the price, and if you don't like it, then leave.
Yeah, but it seemed from like what I was reading in some articles, it seemed as if Fortnite was doing what was required of Apple, which is the reason why they were able to get on there anyways. Like if there's a way for you have to sign in on my app, and then you can purchase from here, but I'm saying, hey, I got an Epic Game Store over here. If you just purchase the V-Bucks over here, they're still on your account, and you get it for a discount over here because I actually get all of that money, which is maybe like 10, maybe 15% more than I would get if you just purchased it off the mobile app. I don't see the problem in that because it's like there's still that option there for you.
So,
but it's just cheaper over here.
If you built this great community, right? You as an individual built this great community, and another big person comes along and wants to join your community. You're like, yeah, go ahead. You can have access to all my customer base. I'm giving you access to it all, but every transaction is 30%. And you agree to that. Okay, so you come in, and now that's the relationship. And now you're like, you know what? And now I'm like, you know what? I don't like that you're charging me 30% to access your customers. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell all your customers to come to my store around the corner and get it for 20% less. You're going to be like, wait a minute. Now that's not beneficial to me. So go ahead. You could just leave then.
They would be all your customers at that point. Yeah, like they're my users and stuff like that, but they're trying to utilize just your services.
Right,
that you have.
But you gave me access to your users. That's something you gave me access to under our arrangement. Now me trying to bypass that arrangement in some loophole kind of way decentivizes you from wanting to have me on your platform. You'd be like, well, okay, if you're going to do that, then you can just go off our platform. It makes sense to me.
Yes and no, but I feel like it's just like, going to the PlayStation store and then buying the, like the $20, $10 credit or whatever in the PlayStation store to purchase a game or whatnot for your wallet or something. But you're able to go to Walmart or Walgreens and you're able to buy a card, and sometimes it's a $10 card for $9 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you're able a $20 card for $18. So it's $20 PlayStation money, but you only paid $18 for it. I think it's the same thing as that. Like people are buying stuff. I mean, you have the option there. People will just buy from there because it's easier for them. But there's another that doesn't have anything to do with me. If you chose to get another backhaul, I'm okay with it because I already told you what it was up front and you complied with that.
Yeah, I want to get Mark into this, but the reason why I feel like that doesn't quite nail your analogy doesn't quite nail the same situation is those PlayStation bucks will still get spent in my PlayStation store. They don't get spent in the Apple store, right? They get spent in the Fortnite store.
Okay,
so
I see
you see what I'm saying? So it's like. Sony is still, I can get it for 20% less at Walmart than buying it from PSN directly, but I'm still spending it through Sony, right? This is completely bypassing Apple, and so Apple's like, well, then what's the point? What's the incentive for us to have you on our platform if you're not going to, if you're trying to bypass our cut? So, Mark, what do you think, man?
I think that it sucks that developers have no other way,
right?
Because I feel like there should be some other channel of releasing your apps on a device. It's one thing if you want to enter their marketplace, then you gotta abide to their market rules. I get that, but the thing is, there's no other option for you to release your content to a device. So I think there should be some other mechanism. Because I know in the past you had to jailbreak your phone and you can get all these, third-party applications. But I wish there was another legal, legitimate way that Apple, hey, if you download the games from here, we don't approve any of this. They just could have issues with your device, X, Y, and Z. I wish there was some other method, but they have to go through the Apple Store. That's
they own it.
That's their only way.
Apple owns it.
Because Apple owns it.
It's the only way to get apps onto your device through that.
It's the only way
you have to use backdoor tactics to be able to get something on
so
there.
There's only one option that they have. So of course they're gonna abide to the rules. In this scenario, you could still buy V-Bucks from Apple, obviously, for a higher price.
Right.
So I like that. That's still an option, because let's say, little Timmy for Christmas got $100 Apple gift card. He wants to play Fortnite. He's paying the Apple price for the Apple V-Bucks. They're getting their piece of the pie.
Yeah.
But the developer is like, hey, we want more of the pie. Instead of, us getting $7, we want $7.99 for these V-Bucks. We want these extra 99 cents. So buy from us directly through the app.
I think it's the promoting. I think it's fine having them, but when they're promoting to deliberately bypass Apple, I think Apple's absolutely going to be like, wait a minute, that's not, we're going to, this is our platform. You can't just
undercut us.
Yeah, undercut us.
So
on our agreement.
I see why Apple did this. It's the same reason why. Did you guys ever realize when games first went digital, they're always more expensive on the digital than they were on the physical. And I was like, why would PlayStation release this game for $59.99 when I can go buy it for $30? And I think it's the same philosophy, because if they were selling their games cheaper than the stores would be like, why the heck am I buying these games that no one's buying? Because they could just buy them directly from the source. So I think it is that weird relationship where you got to be careful, because Apple, it's their store. That's
the bottom line, I think.
That's the bottom line. So I feel like they should have went about it differently. I feel like they should have said, hey, if you download the Epic app on a computer and sync your account, you can do whatever you want. But for them to allow you in the app, just type in your credit card, that's tough. I think it should have been a gradual, like, download our Epic app on the computer, and then what can Apple say at that point?
Yeah, slowly try to get the customers into
it's like, hey, on the Epic store, if you buy V-Bucks, there's 20% off. Because on Epic store, they're doing crazy promotions, like everything's all these free games. So I think they should have leveraged that a little better, because this is, although it sucks that they have no option, it sucks that they're in that position, and I see they want to make the most maximize revenue. At the end of the day, they have to, have that good relationship.
If they want in that world, you don't have to go in that world. But if you want in the Apple world, then you have to go through it. They own it. Apple owns it.
But with that being said, do I like this? No. I am an Apple iPhone user for many years. I'm considering switching, because they stated that, I know we're going to talk about this, that xCloud, all these other services that have games, because they can't vet the games, because all these games have in-game market shops these days. This is not a new convention. Because they can't vet those the games, and they don't approve those in-game marketplaces that are around. They're not approving applications like xCloud. So xCloud is big for me. So if this, I already know what the outcome is. Apple has to be careful how they tread here, because if they allow this, everyone's going to do this. So of course they're not going to allow it, because then every developer in the world would, they can release their own things in game. I'm gonna do that too.
Exactly. On my website.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it too.
But why couldn't you just go to a different route where you just don't sell anything in game in the app, but it's all available on your website, but it's all linked together. So it's like, the V-Bucks, there's no way to buy anything on the game in the iOS app, but you buy it on your computer, it's there on your account.
I think probably just a convenience thing. I mean, I'm sure they thought about it, but they're like, people just want to click one button and buy it.
Right.
But that doesn't matter, right? Like it's just an additional, additional avenue to purchase. Like, so Fortnite, even at 30%, Fortnite still is fine having that additional avenue of revenue, right? They're just bucking the horse that they think it's too much.
But then it's not, it doesn't even stop it there. It gets to the xCloud and the Google Stadia and stuff, like, because there's a game that my xCloud offers a service in that game that you can purchase something. Now, because I can't touch that at all, I'm not allowing any of this.
Yeah, but that's their right. Like, I agree. Absolutely. We can disagree. Hey, they should be more open to what they want, but it's their right to do with their platform as they choose to do with their platform.
Yeah, but your requirement was for me to pay $100 to get in here.
It's still their right, though. They can do that.
It is, but I'm saying, like, if I've got all the water and you a bunch of thirsty mofos around me, you know what I mean? But I'm not giving you the water. Nah, supply and demand, sucker. $20 for this little small bottle of water. Right. It's not right. It still doesn't make it right.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah, I do have the right to do that.
It's not. It may not be right. I may not agree with it, and this is why I'm an Android user. I've been an Android user for a long time, because I ran into this issue many years ago with Apple and their closed system. I wanted Flash. Like, there were some games. This is back when Flash was, the primary source of, in browser gaming.
Right.
And there were games that I wanted, and I couldn't play them on. Because Apple was QuickTime, right? And nothing used QuickTime, and they wouldn't allow Flash, and so I left. So I voted with my dollars, and so my argument here would be like, instead of fighting Apple, leave, right? Like, I think Fortnite should leave. I think Fortnite should do these things, go on to a more open system like Android, But the thing is, Apple has a lot of users, and so because of that, people want access to that market, and I would too. And so I would take the loss. I would take the 30% loss. I don't care. I'm getting access to a whole crop of users that I would want. Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, Apple, I may think Apple's asking too much, but it's their platform. It's their right. Apple will only change that number, right? If people leave and they feel it. If they start hurting, then they'll lower that percentage. It's just supply and demand.
And that works for the concept of Fortnite, because we just know like it's all about money with Fortnite and Apple.
Right.
But when we're getting to like NVIDIA GeForce, we're getting to Google Stadia, we're getting to xCloud, like these are just services that they're trying to make it so that it's available for everybody to access these things. So they've literally created an app, and there's no extra purchases that need to be made in order to enjoy this app. It's like, hey, I gave you the $100. Let me put my app on there. They're just playing games or accessing the content that's available.
I know you keep talking about why they should. You keep talking like what they ought to do. Like you keep talking about what Apple ought to do. But the bottom line is Apple can do whatever they want. They can charge you $130. They can charge you $100, and then they can charge you another $100 to put the game up every day. And that would be so absurd and ridiculous. No one would do that. But they could do that if they want. They can charge and do whatever they want.
I'm just stating what they're charging now.
Right.
So I don't understand why it's like a service. It's like Netflix. It's like Amazon Prime or something like that. Like they have those out there. So I don't understand how xCloud is any different from Netflix. It's a library that you can access and start to play.
Because the only thing that I read was because it's games. They have a different guideline system for games. Certain games have to meet a certain set of guidelines. And every game on their platform, every single one of them have gone through those hoops. So every developer... It would be a little unfair. Like the developer's like, wait a minute, you made me jump through those hoops, but you're not going to make Game Pass jump through those hoops. Like that's not really right. And so I think for consistency, Apple is primarily saying, no, we need to be able to put every game you have available through the guideline vetting system that every developer's had to deal with since we initiated those guidelines.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, so I mean, at this point, I don't know what's gonna happen as far as xCloud, even Google Stadia, what they're gonna do to get around this. I feel like there should be some type of a fix, like, hey, these are all the games that are available on these platforms. Review them this way. You know what I mean? And then once they've all been approved, we'll go through you for approval on new games that we want to add to the service. But just it being a service itself, it should be okay. You know what I mean? There should be some way to look at these games if we're just talking about because it's M-rated or whatever. Can they access this?
What Google and them should do is they should put them into the Apple guideline process and just slowly release them. So it would just be like, that's what I would think. They would just slowly release them rather than giving you access to all 100 and something at once. And I think that's probably what the rub is with Apple.
it would slow the actual process. You're getting 100 and something
games all at once, right? It would slow the process.
Yeah.
And another thing I think these companies should do, Google and Microsoft, is promote these things. Let your iPhone users know, hey, Apple's process is so convoluted. It's so slow. It's so antiquated. Let's come to this platform instead, and really make Apple users, like Mark Araya is saying, consider, I'm leaving Apple. I'm gonna go get an Android device now. I'm gonna switch platforms, and then Apple will be like, shoot, we have to conform.
Yeah, I just feel like Apple's in this position that they do what they want. They're not going to conform.
They do what they want,
no matter what.
Mm-hmm. They're not really hurting.
I don't think it's going to make that. I think that's just their style. So if xCloud never comes, I'm going to give them like 6 months to work this crap out. I'll call it crap. And if they don't, I'm going to switch to an Android because I just don't even want to deal with this. But I just wish that the developers had a secondary option.
They do. They have other marketplaces, but
no, I mean within somebody's platform.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there should be something like, all right, you pay us $10K instead of $99 a year. You pay us $99,000. So they should have some sort of secondary thing that's like I don't know.
I just want Apple to create some other route.
I just wish there's some other channel. Like, all right, you pay us $1 million a year and you could put whatever you want on this, but we don't sanction this. This is like the black. I just wish
like
there
a
was,
no questions asked type.
I just wish there was
wish
an
Apple
option.
would. I wish Apple
It sounds
would too.
cool, but at the end of the day, Apple does what they want. I mean, they made it this far doing exactly what they want. They don't bend to nobody. When the FBI asks them for things, they're like, nope.
Right.
They literally do what they feel is best. As I don't feel this is best, but I'm not Apple, so it's their business. They do what they want.
That's what I feel too.
And I'll just move on to somewhere else. I'll take my money somewhere else. So.
That's what we do. We as consumers vote with our dollars. I would much rather us vote with our dollars than get like some outside third party to come in and force, because that's just a slippery slope, right? For all businesses. If you open the door to allowing, like, let's say the government to come in and like force a company to do something, you've just opened Pandora's box, right? You give the government 1 inch to control you. You may not have a business today, but you may tomorrow, right? Or your family member may have a business tomorrow, and now all of a sudden we've opened the door to allow the government to come in and forcibly make a reality that they think it ought to be, rather than just letting companies live and die on their own decisions, right? I think Apple should suffer for this decision. I hope they do. I hope a lot of people decide to switch and they feel it. And because I think if they are asking too much, they should decrease it. But I can't come out and say they better, that this is what they should do. It's their company. They can do with it as they please.
Yeah, I mean, it would be preferable, but once you see Samsung coming out and they're like frontlining xCloud, with Xbox, and saying
That's
like,
be
hey,
huge.
you can buy a bundle, and get this new Note 20. It'll be interesting to see
for sure
if there's even a reaction from Apple, because I mean, they just did the event for Samsung, and it's almost September, probably October-ish because of COVID. We might see the Apple event, and it's like, is their new phone even going to be worth even giving a look to if they have all these restrictions, for something that's big like xCloud and something
Pass,
that's like Stadia, that's could have been something, but it's hurting so bad, and it probably could have been more if it had been allowed access to Apple, to be able to get all of those users to just streamline play something. I'm also a little confused as to why you couldn't just open up the Google browser on your Apple iPhone and start playing the game, because that's how they explain it. But maybe it's something. Maybe it's more like a streamline.
But you're breaking the rules, probably.
Like
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, we're doing that. But I guess
we'll see how they respond.
See. Within like the next 6 months or so. I'd say probably by the end of this year.
Yeah, I'll say by the time the next consoles come out, hopefully they make a decision. Because like I said, it sucks. I mean, we can say what they ought to do, like Ray was saying, but at the end of the day, it's their ship. They sail it how they want, and we'll just make the decisions that benefit us as a consumer.
Exactly.
So
that's right.
My phone's almost 2 years old.
It's time to start looking anyways,
upgrade,
right? Let me tell you, this thing is sick. This is the new Samsung S20. It's incredible. So like you're not losing. What I mean is your experience is not going to be like you can get an equal experience these days. Where there was a time when it wasn't as equal, where Apple was just king, but it's a lot more equal than you would imagine today.
Yeah. Did you see in Korea they're pushing Game Pass and xCloud like super hard right now? Did you see all the commercials with the new
Samsungs?
Yeah, that's the newest one, right?
Yeah.
So with the newest phone, they're having all these commercials showing them playing all the xCloud games.
Like, I'm excited.
So I was like, why aren't they doing that over here?
I mean, they definitely had that Korean boy band or whatever that was like in the keynote for the S20. The Note 20.
I wonder that too. Why not? Because Americans would love that. If they just need to be, we need to be told. Yeah,
Samsung is a Korean company, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably why they're just over there.
I get why they're doing it,
but American consumers, we think the same. We want the most, right? Like, so inform us, and then people can make a decision. Yeah. I feel like Apple profits from that ignorance, right? That people just don't know that they don't have access to all these wonderful additional things
until it starts being brought out into attention.
Yeah, until it's brought out. Yeah.
But moving on, some new game news is that BioShock 4 is in production, and it'll be in a new location. So how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, Godly Sovereign, we are super fans of BioShock. Like, it's one of our favorite games of all time. Absolutely, especially the original BioShock and BioShock Infinite. I'll never forget those. I'll never forget. It's been seared in my mind, that first experience of BioShock 1. when I first
Going
went down the
into
lighthouse,
Rapture?
and like I saw that under the ocean. Going into Rapture.
Just going down on that
yeah,
elevator.
I just couldn't believe it. It was like as a little kid, like my mind was just blown, and it's been seared in my memory. I'll never forget it. So we haven't heard nothing about BioShock for like years, and so like just to hear that it's being made and like they're going in like this cool new world direction, like what does that mean? Like I'm so excited, I'm so pumped. So I couldn't be any more hyped for this. Even just that one sentence right that they gave us, that this that leaked job description or whatever was enough to excite me about this, to know that it's real, because I've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, for me, I joined the BioShock bandwagon like 2 years ago. I bought the trilogy. So I played the first and the second one. I haven't even touched the last one, which I heard is arguably
Infinite.
one it's up there.
It's very good.
But I like BioShock a lot. I like the story. I like the location. I like how the game feels. So I know you guys mentioned that this can take place on a completely different place. So I don't know how I feel about that, because I know Infinite takes place somewhere
else. A sky town or something like that.
So I kind of like being, I kind of like the style of the first and the second games. So the location will be a big change for me, but I'm hyped to see what it's going to be about. I'm hyped to see, is this going to be on all consoles, all platforms? Probably.
I don't think it was an exclusive before, right?
No, it never was.
This is a third party.
But you never know these days.
Yeah. Without this exclusivity stuff. Right?
Next thing you know, PlayStation buy BioShock IP.
Yeah, like if something like that happens, like okay.
But
we'll see.
Let's
just hope that it's on everything. I think it will be.
Yeah.
But you never know. But I'm pretty excited to see more about this.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited for it. I liked how they've kind of used like legendary locations, kind of like, Rapture was semi like the city of Atlantis, like a forbidden sea, city in the sea. And so, all of those things that was in there, it was just like a whole new area, and it was, that you discover and you get to search. It's not like a regular town or anything like that, it's a different aspect. And then, in Infinite, where you have where it's this city in the sky.
It's like
and,
heaven, kind of, right?
Yeah, and it's this little, it's supposed to be like a utopia, a floating utopia up there. And so, there's a different aspect to that. So I'm wondering, I don't even know what that floating city in the sky would be based off of, but I feel like I've heard it, somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
In stories, or,
like Star Wars Cloud City, right?
Yeah. So I'm interested to see where they'll take this new location. Right. Will they try to, maybe there's like some Mayan, like, type of temple area or something like that, or like,
what about the underworld?
We're gonna go like Jurassic Park or something.
What about the underworld, like down below in like Lava Land or something? Like, who knows, right?
Yeah,
like some
that'd
kind of
be
like,
interesting too.
because it's kind of like some iconic place,
Right.
Who knows, like what direction they can go with space too? Like, what about a space city like that?
Yeah, like a space colony or something like that. Yeah.
I agree though with Marco Raya that I thought Rapture is a better. It was the best. Yeah, it was the best of the two choices. Rapture was better than, I can't remember, Liberty or whatever the town in the sky was called.
Yeah.
Rapture was definitely much more interesting and more character and iconic, but it still was a lot of fun. Like the city in the sky was still super dope to explore and visit and get a, like, it doesn't, like, if Rapture is a 9.8, this is a 9.5, right? Like, they're both like so stinking incredible. And you learn a little bit more. Like, you haven't finished Rapture yet, but you learn a little bit more. You would understand a little bit more this new world's place. Like, if you finish the Infinite. If you finish BioShock Infinite, you'll get an insight into how the BioShock world actually kind of works.
Gotcha.
Or I should say BioShock universe, right? Like, how it kind of works. And then you'll be like, okay, now I'm kind of interested to know where they're going to take us next, like Godly Sovereign and I are.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those things that I'm looking forward to, man. And I hope that we'll start hearing some new information for it soon. But we were mentioning exclusives before, right? And one of the exclusives that just don't stop is Marvel's Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Hearing that that they've taken exclusivity to like a whole new level. Like, I feel like in a sense, Marvel's Avengers is low key doing what like Animal Crossing was doing, or is doing, where they're allowing like KFC to build like an island, and they're literally selling like chicken coupons and stuff like that there. Like you literally have Verizon making special skins for the Avengers, for like the 6 starting characters. So like if you got a Verizon phone, there'll be something that you'll be able to go into your Verizon Rewards app and then be able to pick up that DLC code to put that in and get those little skins for that. And then on top of that, you have Intel, which I think they're selling a new gaming PC or something like that. It's supposed to be like a hardcore gaming PC, but they're giving skins for that one as well. So you purchase this Intel computer, and then you're going to get the skin to play Marvel's Avenger on your brand spanking new computer or whatever. If it's, it'll be available on PC. So I think that stuff is nuts, man. And then, just like Monster was doing with Halo, where you collecting like the bottle caps and you getting
EXP and stuff.
Yeah. So 5 Gum has it, so like you buy packs of their gum and you have DLC codes that you can use to turn in and get like special little clothing pieces or aesthetic stuff to look for. So, and then of course PlayStation, the biggest exclusivity holder in there, they have the the Spider-Man character, and then on top of that you have like when you get the game for the first, I think it's 30 days, if you have PS Plus, you get exclusive access to a legendary outfit for each character. You also get like a couple of extra skins. You get like some bonuses and rewards, like PlayStation Plus. If you have PlayStation Plus, you get like a whole grab bag. It's like if you go to the World of Warcraft convention. What is that?
The goodie bag?
BlizzCon. Yeah, the goodie bag is all up in there. You just, oh shit, you got like so much stuff.
What else is in here? Right, I'm getting,
like they're literally like laying it on thick. And the exclusive access is the short-term exclusive access for it. That's cool and all, but it's all of that extra little stuff that you're getting. And then I know that if you guys play the beta, which is going on right now, I think it's going on for, I want to say it goes on until the game releases, but I think it's going to stop the week before.
Yeah, so it's this weekend, and then it's pretty much the following weekends.
Okay.
So right now it's for PC pre-order people or PlayStation.
So every weekend then.
And then next weekend is for everyone.
Okay. Well, it's just like opening up, right?
But it's only on the weekend days you can play.
It's my understanding that's only during the weekends
that you can play.
Like you can play only during the weekends, to like Sunday at midnight or whatever. Okay. So it's only during the weekends.
All right, so you can get a little taste, you know, here and there and whatnot. I do know that the file for the beta for PlayStation was almost like 80 gigs.
Wow.
It was pretty hefty. It was like 60 to 80 gigs. Wow. It was a lot on there. But I checked it out and I had fun with it. But I was looking at some of the images that they were showing for like the Verizon skins. Yeah. And the colors looked cool and everything, but
nice and red.
I would say that the Intel skin looked the most interesting, at least for the Hulk. He had like some shredded like pants that looked like he was like they had like a little flavor with him, and then he had like 3 or 4 chains around his neck, so he kind of looked a little badass. That's cool. So it was cool to see those. But how do you guys feel about a game like trying to capitalize on so much exclusivity? Like I feel like they're using it as like a branding of such, right? Like buy the gum, get Verizon, so they're obviously doing these things to allow, Verizon to say, hey, if you want this skin, got to get a Verizon phone.
Right.
And, and Intel, like, hey, buy this PC, you could get the game, but you'll also have these dope skins that like are exclusive, strictly for this.
Yeah. So what do you think, Mark, right?
Like, how do you feel about that?
So I already have Verizon, so I'm getting the DLCs. I already buy that stupid 5 gum, so I guess part of me doesn't like it. I don't like all this crap. I think it's gimmicky.
Sure.
I don't like it. I mean, there's a certain extent, like, hey, like Call of Duty used to do it, Halo used to do it. You get double EXP if you buy some energy drink, Mountain Dew. Okay, sure, but they're like releasing things that you can't straight up get. So part of me is like, do I want to just sell my skins on eBay and make $20-$30 to get
That's
the game for free?
That's a good.
So
point.
I don't like making these decisions though. I want to just be able to play the freaking game. I don't want to be like,
as a consumer, you don't want to make decisions.
Should I just sell this because you can't get it? You have something else. Do I want to just sell it? So that, that brings that real money trading thing always into the picture. So I generally don't like this. I think like PlayStation releasing a character, that's about as far as I go. But when every freaking company now, you buy Hot Cheetos and you get a Cheeto character, like where does this end? Where does this freaking end? And like I said, I'm probably gonna buy this crap.
Right.
Subconsciously,
well,
yeah. I'm like, oh, Hot Cheetos, let me get. So I personally don't like it. I see why they need to do it, but I feel like I've been watching a lot of the beta content. Like my expectations with this game keep increasing as I see the gameplay. Like it's looking incredible, but like, man, this crap is gimmicky. Like I don't like it personally.
Yeah. I agree. I don't like it either. I mean, of course, I would love all that content to be in the game and not have to go outside of the game to buy all these additional products to get the content, right? I think the reason is it's twofold. That's what Godly Sovereign says. Of course, 5Gum's reasoning is so they can promote their gum, right?
Right.
But I think Crystal Dynamic, they're like, this is guaranteed money. Like they haven't even released the game yet, right? So they haven't made a single dollar on the game. They don't know how many copies they'll sell. They believe it's going to be popular, but they're getting like, it's kind of like the pre-order debate we had, or discussion we had, getting paid for a product that hasn't released yet.
Yeah.
And Crystal Dynamics would be fools, right, to not take this free guaranteed money right now before they haven't even released the game yet. And so that's what I think it is. It's like, of course, sure, yeah, like why not? This is free guaranteed money, we'll take it. But it sucks for the consumer. The consumer sucks, but Crystal Dynamics would be fools not to take this money.
So it's definitely, I feel like it's a smart business plan when you're looking at it in the game aspect. Because you're just guaranteeing yourself some specific money, like you said early on. But I feel like it's a gateway to video games whoring themselves out for everything. You know what I mean? Like if let's just say Monster comes in and they're like, hey, we want you to make some green skins, and they got to have the big M logo all over them though, but we'll give you $25K. And bet, you know what I mean? It's probably really easy for them to come up with skins, or just locking out the color
green. Right? Like, what about, like, you can't even get green skins because Monster bought them all.
Right. Yeah, right? That could be something, too. Yeah, like, it's all on this. So, I mean, I feel like it just opens it up, right? Like, Marvel's Avengers, will do this, and then, and they'll have these, and it'll more than likely, I'm guaranteeing that there'll be some more exclusives of other companies joining in on it if they see sales pick up for these brands that are doing it. I mean, obviously, like the Verizon thing, I think that's probably going to be like a whatever. Like the people who already had Verizon are going to use their code or whatever to get their skins. Sure. There's definitely going to be people selling it out there. I think the big one will be the Intel one, to see if people actually, if you had to buy like a specific PC in order to get that code, if people actually start buying that PC,
right,
and get that code.
It's an expensive purchase.
If it's bringing up those sales, definitely the 5Gum.
That's a smart route because it's an easy thing. It's to just buy, a small, quick pack, right?
But I think they might be small items. But yeah, it's just a small, less than $5 thing that you can purchase, and you get something with your gum. It's a
item. Fine line, man. They're walking. Yeah. It's a fine tightrope because what you're saying is true. Like, the more they, pour themselves out, the more people are going to be turned off of their game, and they could hurt their sales in the end. So if they keep going to be it gets exaggerated. So it's a fine line. Like right now, I don't think people are going to be like, nah, I ain't buying the game. The Spider-Man's close. I'm sure they've lost sales over that. But if they keep going that route with this exclusive stuff, you can really hurt your sales. And so you have to really decide how much do we want to, sell ourselves short.
Yeah. Just imagine this. Imagine if they start doing this. Like, hey, you buy 5Gum and you get a code. This gives you a loot box. you have a chance at getting the 5 gum skin. So now people are gonna go
lots of
buying
gum.
all these, and these are essentially loot boxes. I hate loot boxes.
Yeah, you're right.
I hate
Buying gums are loot boxes. You're right.
So and 5 gum could already be like that because I don't think there was anything specific.
So if they go that route, I hate stuff like that. So as we're talking about it, I just like it more. So I already locked in. I'm selling my Verizon code for the skin. Like, excuse me, because I don't care about skins like that. Right. So, but I want to talk about Verizon for a second. So if you went on the Verizon up, so I go on the Verizon rewards all the time.
Yeah. I forget to go, man. I always lose my rewards. So
it was a super reward. So a super reward is, let's say you want to go see an NBA game. They give free tickets on there, but you could only do a super reward once every 6 months because they're pretty valuable. There's a bunch of free rewards you can do.
But that's just a competition, right? It's like a contest for that or no?
The clock counts down and it's the first 500 people to click it. You get to go to the Super Bowl, get to go to this. So I was like, why the heck is this a super reward? What's so super about beta? It's gonna come out next week. But actually, whoever clicked that got the game for free.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, dude.
That's
so I can't believe I missed it because we could have had it for free. We could have had the freaking game.
And you could have clicked.
Yeah. Or I didn't even know it was going on until it was already over. They're like, hey, it starts at noon.
Dude.
Click it and you get beta and the game, dude. So I'm like, that would have been incredible.
That's worth it.
That's freaking worth it. So that's worth. Now I see why it was a super reward.
Right.
You know? But I was kind of bummed about that. So if I hear that, I'll put it on our Discord. Or I'll try
those
to
are like one of those super deals.
I'll try to shout out if I see something like
just
that.
Always jump on super deals, even if you don't know what they are, right? But you didn't know about it, right? So
no, I didn't know till it was already over. Like the night that this was on there, you get bait in the game. I was like, dang it,
I hate that.
But talking about Avengers DLC, what about the gameplay? I would like to get into some meat here. I know Godly Sovereign played it, so tell us, what did you think of it? How did you feel? How did it feel?
Okay, so the way it opens up, I'm not sure if it's the actual opening for the game, but it kind of opens up on what they consider or what they've referred to as A-Day. Which is it's like an attack going on, and so you have all the Avengers and they're fighting, and so I think the first I don't know if this is considered spoilers or whatever, it's the beta, their first boss per se is Taskmaster.
Okay.
So the way the beta starts is it's literally giving you a taste of everybody. So I believe that they said that there's
shuffle through them.
Yeah, there's 6 characters. So the first one that you get to play with is Thor. Just like watching the video, dude, he's powerful. And I swear they're using every bit of rumble feature in your controller possible. It's literally rumbling every time you're doing something.
I wonder how much better it's gonna be with the dual sense.
With the dual sense. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But you're playing with Thor for a minute, and then after that you switch over in like a semi-smooth transition to Iron Man.
Okay.
So I loved Thor. I loved the way Thor played. Iron Man, I felt like he was a tad handicapped in a sense.
Why is
that? So the flying is cool, but I felt like the aiming, it would take some getting used to. Maybe I have to slow it down or whatever, but it seemed like it was just kind of everywhere. So it's a little hard to target your guys, especially when you're doing the fast moving and you're sitting there trying to home in on something that's small. You know what I mean? So I was having trouble aiming, my blasters and hitting things while I was flying. I did enjoy when I put them on the ground and then I fought with my fists. And then there's different combos that you can move to hit them with the double blasters and cause different things. He's got a dope light beam or whatever that he shoots from his chest. That's kind of like like you build up the momentum for it and then you're able to use it. So that was cool, but I felt like there was certain things like if you came across a guy with a shield, you couldn't blast through the shield. The shield just kept taking the damage.
It's infinite, huh?
Yeah. So I feel like maybe there's more to it. Like you gotta maneuver around them to catch him, on the backside with the shield down to get him. But anyways, it moves from Iron Man to Captain America.
Oh, cool.
And then you get to play with Captain America. I thought Captain America was dope. The way he was fighting, he had like grab techniques that were like always apparent, but like he would be fighting somebody and then they would be kind of downed a little bit and you could just full speed run at him, hit like triangle and zero, and then and you would just perform some kind of like a takedown move or whatever. All three of those characters, Thor, Iron Man, well, not Iron Man, but you had like aiming capabilities with it. So Thor, you would throw the hammer and then you could call it back with another controller, so you're hitting on the the recall also.
That's cool. You throw it and release for the other one. That's cool,
So with Captain America, you're throwing it, but it's coming back automatically to you and whatnot. So that was also cool. So you're doing a fight scene or whatever in there, and then that transitions into the Hulk. So you're going with the Hulk, man, and he's just like, he's literally crumbling everything. Like you feel like the Hulk is powerful as well. Like everything that you're doing, you're like, you're charging up for like heavy attacks, and then you're smashing things in the area because you're fighting on a bridge with the Hulk, and like everything is crumbling like underneath you and around you and things like that. So it definitely looked and felt powerful because while you're doing things, you're literally like destroying the stuff around you,
right?
As well when you're going through. And then it transitioned from the Hulk to Black Widow, and you end up fighting the Taskmaster with Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
And the way she kind of goes in is kind of dope. The way she starts the conflict with Taskmaster, and it's definitely a different kind of fight with her. Because you do have the fisticuffs, but
it's more tactical.
It's also with the gun. Right. So the majority of the first part of the fight with the Taskmaster is with the gun. So you're trying to like slowly dwindle his life down and whatnot because his attack moves don't allow you to fight him with your fists.
Right.
And then it progresses, and then you're able to kind of get in some punches, but still like the gun is like your primary and whatnot. So I was able to play that one little opening scene, and then I found out that it was like 80 gigs of information that was having to be downloaded to my system, and so my PlayStation hadn't even downloaded it yet.
So you couldn't continue it.
I had started the beta and I had played I was doing something else, so I was waiting, and then I saw that it was installed and ready to go. And then I started it and it gave me all of that. And then after I had finished that, it was telling me that it needed to download the rest of it and install it in order to be able to continue. So I think all of that other data was probably the war tables or whatever, the stuff that we saw on the war table with those war zones and all that other stuff. So I'm probably definitely gonna.
You had a good time with it though?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I pretty much enjoyed every other character except for Iron Man for the most part.
And
that's just because I have to, get used to using it.
Is this something you're like, okay, I gotta go down and put my pre-order on this now, or I gotta get this game?
I don't know. I did like the openings, but I felt like they were, small. They just gave you a taste.
A little taste. Okay.
So I want to actually play through like a mission or two. Yeah. And then because you download the beta and you play the beta, you have if you finish the beta, they have some skins that you can get that are exclusive to just the people who played the beta and finish like everything that they had to offer in the beta. So I am gonna try to attempt to do that since I am done with Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, so I mean I did like what I saw, but I have to play the rest of this beta to see if it's something that I'm gonna want to pre-order. I know I'll probably get it,
right? But do I want
to pre-order it and try to get it like day one or whatever? That's what I still have to see.
Okay.
And so far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah, I just feel like I just have to play around with Iron Man some more.
Yeah, because I watched it maybe for about 2 hours on Twitch. People play, and originally the Hulk was the character I wanted to play, right? But after watching people play him, I didn't like his style because in this game, like the animations and how fast you attack and the timing is very important.
Right.
And the Hulk's abilities and animations
a little sluggish
are very slow.
Yeah. That's what I saw too.
Black Widow, which is a character that I wasn't really interested in playing, she's like a little ninja out there. Like her abilities, her melee is quick.
Her timing's awesome, right?
Her range attacks are crazy. She moves so fast, she dodges so fast. So I'm like, that's a character that I want to play. You know, and I actually liked Iron Man. Did you see his ultimate where he turns into the Hulkbuster?
No, I did not get that yet.
I guess you could choose your abilities, but he had one of his ultimates is he turns into the Hulkbuster, and that looks sick. You know?
Yeah, I heard that was cool.
The characters were awesome. I really for some reason, the more and more I watched of this on Twitch, the more the game reminded me of a Marvel Avengers Destiny.
Yeah,
like
for sure, that's what it is.
The loot, I like how the loot. There's like when you find like rare items, it's like a beam of blue, and you see it.
Yeah, it's
like
kind of
the itemization looks really cool. You know, the map overlay looked kind of like Destiny. When you're picking the missions and stuff. So I think that this will definitely be a game that I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna pre-order it unless they gave like me exclusive characters for doing so. But
so skins wouldn't sell you on a pre-order?
No way.
No.
I had to be like, you're gonna give me something that I can sell on eBay. No, I'm just kidding. But the game looked really good though.
Yeah.
And especially on PC, I saw people stream it on PC compared to PS4, obviously. But the PC graphics were incredible.
Wow.
It was so fluid. The PlayStation was okay, but the PC, like people were streaming it on Ultra, and I was like, this game looks so good.
Because that'll get me excited for the PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy I was watching,
obviously it's not gonna be like PC, but.
Was on PS4. And for the most part, it looked a lot of fun. It looked like the fighting's very tactical. You have to dodge right, like you're saying. The timing matters, so it's not just button mashing. So that's fun. Like I'm excited for that. So the combat, they sold me a little bit more on the combat. It was looking a little bit like a button masher. Just watching, it's kind of hard, like a little clip. It's hard to tell how the combat's going to be.
With the punching, it is. Like, if you just want to do fist fighting, then it's button mashing all day. But you can switch it up with, like,
dodge,
aiming
like
things,
the perfect dodge, like a perfect dodge, this, that, and the other. There were a couple things that the guy was watching. See, I haven't played it, so I don't know. But there's a couple things that the guy I was watching was kind of complaining about as he was playing through it. First of all, he didn't really like Iron Man either. And he didn't like Kamala Khan either. Like, those are the two characters he didn't really like playing. And he basically what he said was whenever those characters, because in the story mission you're forced to play, right? And so whenever a mission came up when it was one of those characters, he was just kind of like, ugh. Like it was a little bit like demoralizing to him to want to go through it because he wasn't super excited about playing those characters.
Okay.
So he had a little bit of like the issue that I was kind of worried about, you know. I was more worried about, I just wanted to play a character. I wasn't really thinking about, oh crap, am I not going to actually like playing a character? And he wasn't really enjoying that character, and then being forced to play a character he didn't enjoy playing was a little bit of a downer for him.
Yeah.
And then also he made the notion that on war zones you have to have a different character in each member has to be a different character.
So if you like the same character I like, I got it. One of us got to switch.
Right. We can't play together. Like if we both liked, you know, Hulk, then we both can't play Hulk, and that's annoying as heck.
Yeah, but it seems logical at the same time. You know what I mean?
No, I disagree. Well, I disagree. I rather us be able to play who we want to play with whoever we want to play. I don't think I should, you know, crap. I got to switch my character that I've been working on all weekend because Marcus has that character and one of us has to choose to stop playing what we've been playing.
But I think at the same time, it's supposed to play, the war zones play just like any of the other levels. Like you could go into a war zone with just AIs and yourself. Like you don't have to play with somebody else in the war zone. So I think it goes that way. It's like,
but when you
it's
play
like
with your
you'd be
friends,
like you guys would be taking place of the two AIs on my team when we go in there. So
just takes away
I don't got doubles.
It just takes away some of the freedom with the player. I would have much rather it had been a you make your own Avenger. Like you pick a character and you just have like classes. You have like the Hulk class, Iron Man class, or you know, Black Widow class, you know, Archer class. You just have like a class you choose from when you make your own character. And then you can go into the game and play like DC Universe. You know, you play your character. Everyone can play together, regardless if you're the same or not. And you can play all you want together as much as you want. This is kind of going a different route. I would much rather, like, we were both the same exact type of character in Destiny. Like, we couldn't have done that in this game.
Yeah, but I feel like Destiny is more like you're playing a generic character.
I know,
like
but
you have specific characters.
I'm making the point that you have that we were still able to, like, we wouldn't be able to do that in this game.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
I know the reasoning, but we wouldn't. That reasoning prohibits us from being able to do what we would have always done. You know, we play the same characters all the time. You know, happens fairly frequently. Or like even in World of Warcraft, you know, you go into a dungeon and there's multiple mages, right? Or there's multiple hunters or rogues. You couldn't do that in this game.
yeah, I just feel like I get what you're saying as far as like adversity or I think that's the right word. Like diversity. Sorry,
yeah.
my fault.
Yeah.
You know, diversity wise, it would allow everybody to just play what they wanted when they
Right.
wanted, and you know, and there wouldn't be any problems. But just looking at it logically, like there ain't two Hulks. You know what I mean? If there was like a She-Hulk
Right.
and a Hulk, I can get that. But like logically in the Marvel universe, I don't think there's any points in times where there's like two, you know, where you can have like two of the same people just interacting in the world or whatever. But that's, you know, that's small fries, whatever. To me, it doesn't really bother me that much. I would just be like, hey, you know, throughout playing the game, all of your characters level up. So, you know, you have all 6 of these characters. It's just up to you which one you'd want to play when you're doing the war zones or whatever. You know, the missions, I guess, are obviously going to make you play who they want. But everybody gets experience and levels up the same. So you're just taking those points from each person and distributing them how you want. So at that point, it would just be like, okay, well, you know, I like these 4 guys specifically. So which one are you guys going to be? You know what I mean? You know, so I at least narrow your likes to 2. You know what I mean?
I just
like,
think it's a problem.
I want
It's not a killer, it's a
Spider-Man and I
problem,
want
though.
Hulk. So, you know, is anybody going to be either one of those? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know, shit
I
like
can
that.
definitely see that as a problem to some people, because what if you don't like any of the characters except for
Black Widow.
Black
right,
Widow?
Yeah.
Right. What if that's your only character? And what if it just so happens that Black Widow's OP, so everyone's playing Black Widow?
Right.
So now when you play with online,
Mhm.
let's say there's a raid, because they said they're introducing raids.
Mhm.
You want to, and everyone's trying to be Black Widow. That kind of sucks. But I feel like this game, I think it's trying to set you up to play many characters, like the story. It's forcing you.
Once you
So
get a
I
feel
think
for
it's
them
trying to
all.
plant the seed, like, hey, don't just stick with one, which is normally what we do. We find one thing we like and then we just max it out.
Yeah.
But I feel like this game, it's kind of trying to get you to play many different characters. So as long as the characters feel good, I have no problem with it. But it could be that there's only one that I like.
Right.
All the other ones I don't like. That, you know, that's very. So I try it. That could happen. You know.
Or like you like a few of them, but there's one you really, really like, and you know a buddy of yours also really, really likes them, and now one of you is disappointed.
Yeah.
Right. It's unnecessary
You
disappointment.
could
to
have
me.
one guy geared up, but all your other
Right,
guys got no
exactly.
gear, and you want to raid. It's like, dang it, well, I
Yeah,
can't bring my
that's
best
a
guy.
problem to me, and
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with 2 Iron Mans running around. I don't think it would matter. I mean, I know what you mean thematically. It breaks the theme, but whatever. So there's 2 Iron Mans running around. Like, let people play what they want to play. You know, I just think it's a little bit. It's not a game killer. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to buy the game because of this.
Yeah, but it's
But I
just
just
like a
think
little
it's a
inconvenience.
direction.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a direction choice that I don't like that direction choice.
Yeah.
And who knows? They could possibly change that in the future.
Yeah, they could if
Where-
there's
where you're
enough,
doing that,
you know, from these betas and stuff.
It is the
people-
beta, so that
right.
could be something that, you know, you could go in somewhere and put like, you know, in an anonymous Dropbox and say, hey, can you just make it so you can just play any character regardless? It could be 4 Hulks running around. Because that would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
You know,
that'd be
just
dope. Why
like you're
not?
watching
Yeah.
a live stream
4
of like
Hulks.
4
That would
Hulks
be
just
crazy,
tearing it
dude.
up, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, just give
But-
people freedom, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, World of Warcraft, I know there was a 25-man DK raid, right?
Yeah.
Where everyone was just a DK. Like, that's fun, you know? Just let people, if they want to try it, let them try it. Like, I just don't see why,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think I see it opening up later on.
Right.
Like
Yeah, maybe
I
for
feel
raids,
like
you
that's
know?
just
Yeah, for raids, maybe they unlock it for raids
Because
because,
there's 8 people.
yeah,
like,
there's
someone
going
has
to
to
be
double up.
better builds,
only 6
right?
characters, so
Yeah.
it's got to
Yeah.
be like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, so I mean that's all we got for this week. So
A lot of fun
you
stuff.
know, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week. Deuces.
I love you, me.